Hello, Nancy Burt-Preece here, Independent Stampin' Up! Demonstrator. Here's my October host code. If you don't have a Stampin' Up! Demonstrator, I'd love to be yours. Here's my Facebook business page. If you haven't liked, please like it and join in on the fun. I'm going to give away some more things again this week, so I hope you try it. My YouTube channel, like, subscribe, watch to the end. I'm trying to get those watch hours up, so please share it with all your crafty friends. So I saw this card, and I'll have to put it in the comments. I tweaked it a little bit, but I really liked using the card this way. And I'm focusing on Yuletide Village. And I am also using, well, I had another stamp set here. It is Peaceful Season for some of the sayings, Deckled Circles dies, and Frozen Edges dies, mainly for the snowflake for the frozen edges. So let's create the card. What I have, I also used the embossing folder from last year, that snowy embossing folder, and I have a 4 1/4 by 11 piece of Night of Navy scored in half, and I just embossed the front because then it's pretty on the inside too. And on this one, on the inside, I just put wishing you and yours Merry Christmas. So I just drew a little bit of a piece of bark there, or a stump, hello, or the bottom of the tree, whatever you want to call it, and colored that in with my dark shaded spruce blend. So I stamped it in Memento and colored it in. This is Night of Navy. So it's not hard. What I did is I have a piece of white, which is 2 by 5 1/2. I'm going to move this to the side. And what I'm going to do is I mounted all the houses, and you can go in any order. Actually, I think I'll go this one on the end. Any order you want. I'm just stamping them in Versamark. They're just kind of a background. The one in the middle isn't even shown much because you're kind of covering it up, but I put it in the middle anyway, just to kind of get used to stamping with it. And you can put them in any order you choose. It's just a nice road with some snow on it. Now, because I would recommend putting this one in the middle, because I made a little mask for it, and I'm going to put some snow around. You notice because I have a mask, it's going around and not on top, what I'm trying to get in between. Now, because I'm using my Glass Mat Studio, I can just come through. This is kind of getting drier, but I can just come through and wipe that right up. So I've got my front, and if you get a little bit of snow down there, that part really isn't going to show, so that's okay. Or I don't know what I got down there, but it's not going to show. I'm going to mount that on a piece of silver foil, which is 2 1/4 by 5 1/2. Now, if you use glue with it, I have troubles when I'm using this kind of silver, because if I use glue, I tend to get it on my fingers. Maybe you don't. And so I like to use seal or a different kind of runner adhesive when I'm doing it. And I can go ahead and put that right on the front of the card. Not a hard. If you come to my class, I will have the pieces cut and this embossed for you. So you can do the next part, which is a little trickier. Now, if it's ever too big on the other side, you can trim that off. I'm going to leave it for now, but you could trim it off. We're going to come, I pre-stamped, I cut out a deckled circle, and I pre-stamped it with the church image. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to just color that tiny little bow, and I'm just tapping. I mean, really gently tapping. Same thing with the green. I'm going to do a green wreath. And I'm going to do a pebbled path, and it's light pebble path door. So that's easy. Now what I wanted to do is show you how you probably can't, you probably can't see, but this is all glittery. How did I make it all glittery? I painted with a Wink of Stella brush. So what I did is I have 3 blocks out here, and I have my first one is Smoky Slate. I'm just going to put it right on the block so I can get some ink on there, and try not to get it on your fingers, but it's not usually successful for me. And I have a basic gray block, which I'm going to put right on here. I'm going to shut that up. And then I have a shaded spruce for that little tree. Could I have done this for the wreath? I could. And if you really want everything to glitter, you can come back with a glitter brush and make it work. Now I'm going to get a little bit of scrap paper. I thought I had some right over here. I do. And I'm going to put this right on there. I'm going to kind of make sure that my brush, I got a little bit of glitter coming out. So the first one I'm going to start with is my light. And I'm going to start right at the top. And the beautiful thing about painting with a Wink of Stella is that everything comes out with a shimmer. And I love that for Christmas because we want everything glittery and shimmery and beautiful, but it's not regular glitter, so it's not going to come off in your hands when you open the card. I always laugh when, somebody sends you a card and it's beautiful. But we have so much glitter left over. So I like this technique. It's all shiny and glittery, but it doesn't get all over your hands. And that's a beautiful thing. And I'm just kind of going around. You can see I'm not going super fast, but I'm trying to stay in the lines. And I'll start with the Smoky Slate. If you come to class, we'll try to set them near the ink pad so that you know which one you're coloring with. That's always the hardest part. And I just keep adding some color. When you're all done, all you have to do is wash that off. And it's very easy. And I'm only using a few colors. You can use as many colors as you want. I like this card because you're only coloring one image, not all of it. I love coloring, but I do know that some people don't. So I like this card because it's not all completely colored, just some of it. Okay. Oh, one more thing. I saw this on a sample and I thought I liked it because it really does make it look like there's snow on the roof. Okay, now what I'm going to do is just kind of wash it off till it starts coming out clear. And I'm going to get my basic gray, because that was Smoky Slate. And the basic gray is going to go right here. Just a little bit darker. It's not a ton darker, but it's a little bit. And I like that because it just makes a difference. It gets a little bit of interest. Now, if you make a mistake like I just did, just make it a little bit bigger. It's like, oh, it was supposed to be that way. It really does not take away from the card at all. Could you do, I didn't on my first one, but you could do these right there. And the other thing I might do is my steps. And now we've got this beautiful shimmer. I'm going to move that to the side. I'm going to really get my brush clean again. Just kind of keep going till it comes out and you don't see it. Then I'm going to get a little bit of green. And I'm going to paint the tree in the spruce shimmer. And all I'm doing is painting with a Wink of Stella. My last thing, and you could do it first, however you choose, I'm making sure that this has really got all the ink off of it. And I'm going to give a little bit. You can squeeze it to get a little bit more Wink of Stella out of it. If you come to my class, I'll have a few brushes because with lots of people using them, we might need a little bit more. Isn't that easy peasy? And it's a beautiful effect. So I'm going to put some of these things way in the back so I don't dip my hand in them. So the next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to let that sit for a minute. And I'm going to talk about how I went ahead and embossed the wishing you and yours. So what I do first is if I'm doing I really do it with every color, but if I'm doing a dark color, take your embossing buddy and go all over it. It basically leaves a little powder behind so that your embossing powder doesn't go all over. The next thing you do is you stamp your image with Versamark, and I'm using our new Wow embossing powder, polished silver. I sprinkled it all over, got it all off, and I went ahead and used my heat gun. So I'm not going to do that on camera, but that is what makes that. Now, I wanted to cut the words out. Not everybody likes to do this, but in this card, I think it really looks neat. So I'm just, first of all, cutting a block. It's not super hard. And if you come to my workshop, you'll be using a piece of navy scrap and cutting it yourself. And then I'm just going to cut down the middle. And make sure I like the way it looks. Sometimes, I don't know about you, but I don't cut in a straight line. That looks pretty good. Let's go trim this just a smidge. There we go. All right, then that is the wishing you and yours. Now, this is probably pretty good. I'm not getting much on my finger. So I don't saturate it. Some people really saturate their Wink of Stella. I don't. I want the beauty of it, but I don't want it to be saturated. Then I'm going to just put this on the silver mat. This one I have just going down flat. I don't have this one popped. Once again, remember that little boo-boo I had in the middle? I covered it right up. Then I'm going to take my mini glue dots and go ahead and pop this up. And it's just such a pretty shimmery look to this card. Would it be helpful if I put that correct? Wishing you, or wishing. Now, on this, it's pretty small. So what I might come in is I might cut that in half, which is always exciting because it's usually sticking to your hand and everything else. And make them thinner so that you don't want them to show. You can also come along the edge if that would be easier and use an edge piece. Set that one back in there. take the paper off. I can get the paper off. Come on, paper. There we go. It's stuck to my hand. Wishing you and yours. The last thing I'm going to do is from the Frozen Edges dies, I have a little snowflake, which I cut out. And I'm going to just use a tiny bit of glue in the middle. And then very light, like just a teeny tiny bit around the edges. Could I have made it a sticker? I could, but I forgot. I cut them all out for my class. So they're going to be like, why didn't you make a sticker? I could. I forgot. So, it's always good to put glue on a little piece. Then I'm going to just set that over here. And the last, not the last, almost the last, I'm going to take one of these clear. These are the Cherry Cobbler and Pearl adhesive back berries. I'm not using the berries today, but I am using that. And the last thing I'm going to do is add the inside. So it is a little bit of a lot of steps. I should say it is a lot of steps. But this is your Christmas card, so hopefully you are looking forward to just trying something a little bit stepped up. I hope you like this card and try it. Have a great day.